Hey there, LBT Squad. I'm your host, Alex Pop, and you're watching episode 5 of The Road to LBT14. We're gearing up for the new upcoming movie, The Land Before Time 14, Journey of the Brave, and today we're talking about action sequences. But before we get started, let's get to our subscriber shoutouts as always. Starting with Davey Santos, you're number 77. JL Leichter, you're number 78. James Sullivan, you're number 79. Kaylee Garcia, you're number 80. Max Lim, you're number 81. Candence Aguilar, you're number 82. Hero Clash Coapa, you're number 83. Ernie the Retro Kid, you're number 84. Sweet Red Ranger, you're number 85. And last but not least, Michael Welsh, you're number 86. Thank you all very much for joining. I'm really glad to have you here. You know, last weekend, as Spectre rolled into theaters, I thought about how the lone defense of many Land Before Time haters is that there are simply too many movies in the franchise. We are about to get the 14th in the series, but if I'm not mistaken, Spectre is the 24th James Bond film, and nobody's complaining. Well, that is except for 37% of critics. And I enjoyed Spectre a fair amount. Its action set pieces were suspenseful and tensely shot, and a good 15% of its massive budget was spent on destroying automobiles alone. I'm not gonna lie, I am a huge action junkie. I'm always in the mood for a good blast of adrenaline from a car flying out the side of a skyscraper, or Michael Bay blowing up his own house.
And you know what the word for that is?
Awesome!
Bingo.
Bring on Transformers 5. So naturally, when it comes to my favorite animated series, I really look forward to seeing what kind of action scenes are going to be thrown in. So today, we're talking primarily about the Sharptooth battles that are going to be in The Land Before Time 14, Journey of the Brave. Let's go to the trailer to see what we've got so far. In the trailer, we're treated to a few frames of Littlefoot and the gang being chased across a rocky ledge by a couple of carnivorous dinosaurs called Eutyrannus. I'm thinking that these guys might be kind of like the Baryonyxes in The Wisdom of Friends, where they show up for the first encounter, they're temporarily defeated after being pelted with rocks, they continue to follow closely behind our heroes, and show up once again for the climax. I would like to see it play out differently, but I'll get to that in a little bit. What's good about what we see in the trailer here is that it's clear that the writers are trying to use various species of carnivorous dinosaurs throughout the series. It started with the ever-famous and almighty Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then the Time of the Great Giving introduced Velociraptor, the Great Longneck Migration gave us Daspletosaurus, the Great Day of the Flyers gave us Spinosaurus, and Journey to Big Water even gave us the aquatic Liopleurodon. And now, we've got these bizarre-looking beasts called Eutyrannus. Here's the downside, though. Rocks again? I would say there have been at least 5 instances throughout the series where the kids are getting attacked by Sharptooth, and they get up onto higher ground, and they fight them off by using either dozens of decent-sized rocks or one giant boulder and dropping it on them. This method of defense was used once in each of the first 3 movies. Now, there was a variation on this in The Secret of Source Rock, where Grandpa and Doc swing their tails around this rock pillar, and with full strain they pull the thing apart, causing it to fall on their Sharptooth adversaries. That was very cool. But then they just kept on using the former method, and when it got to the Great Longneck Migration, even as a kid I thought, really, that's all you can think of? Even Sarah, when Shorty starts doing it, exclaims, "Good idea! Yeah, amazing idea! I never would have considered it, even though you guys did it like 8 times prior." And then they did it yet again in The Wisdom of Friends, and at that point I was just like... So the fact that they're doing it again in Journey of the Brave is pretty eye-rolling, and it's probably the worst thing about the trailer. It's really getting old. Hopefully, though, it's just one moment that's about as brief as that shot in the trailer. Now, I understand that this is the prehistoric world and there are only so many natural objects that they can use to fight off Sharptooth, but they really should start thinking outside of the rocks. What? Oh, I guess that was a pun, wasn't it? I have an idea for something that we haven't seen before, and that is to use small carnivorous dinosaurs, like maybe Compsognathus or Eoraptor. If the gang ran into a pack of these guys on their travels, it would create a really cool sequence where Littlefoot, Sarah, and Spike have to protect Ducky and Petrie, and so it would be basically the same as a full-size Apatosaurus, Triceratops, or Stegosaurus fighting a giant predator like T-Rex, but on a smaller proportion. It would also be Littlefoot's first chance to use the tail whip technique that Doc taught him. So that would be an excellent fight scene, and I bet they might think to do something like that considering all the various types of Sharptooth that are being used in the series. It's safe to say that there are going to be at least 2 action scenes in the Land Before Time 14 Journey of the Brave, the first being the aforementioned Eutyrannus attack, and the second being the climax. So what should the climax be? Well, one of the main factors in staging an action sequence is the choice of location. In the film, Littlefoot sets out with his friends to find his father, Bronn. How and why he's trapped is still anyone's guess, but he's out at a volcano known as Fire Mountain. So, why not have the climax take place there? In fact, I think it's kind of a no-brainer that it will take place there, and that the volcano will be erupting. So it could just be an escape off the mountain as it erupts right after Littlefoot finds his father, or it could be another fight with the Eutyrannuses in the midst of all the ash and fireballs. Another thing that makes it a good location for an action sequence is that it's slanted ground, which makes it tricky for 2 battling dinosaurs to maneuver and maintain their grip on the Earth. We saw a Sharptooth battle like that in the Great Longneck Migration that took place on the side of the crater edge. So, a battle on the tilted edge of an exploding volcano would sort of one-up that scene. Or, instead of the Eutyrannuses, it could be the ultimate introduction of Redclaw and his 2 Utahraptor cronies Screech and Thud. If this movie takes place before the TV series, which is looking more and more likely, then this is the first time that the gang meets Ruby after she unites with Chomper. And thus, it's also conceivable that this would be their first encounter with Redclaw and his raptors. Now that would be an incredible sequence. Bronn fights Redclaw on the side of the mountain blowing up, while the kids, along with Edda, the yellow flyer from the trailer, they try to keep Screech and Thud sidetracked from attacking Bronn as well, all while having to dodge fireballs and other debris. End it all with Bronn pummeling Redclaw off his feet, sending him down the slope, and then he and the kids slide down the mountain as lava starts flowing towards them. And then cut to Redclaw getting back up and letting out one more roar, showing that he is still up and hunting, and thus, the TV series. That is probably the coolest and most exciting final battle for the movie that I can come up with. So that's pretty much all I gotta say. Let me know what kind of fight scenes you'd like to see in the movie, or other action scenes you'd like to see in Journey of the Brave, and also where they take place, and who's involved and why. And also stay tuned for my movie review series on every Land Before Time movie, starting with, of course, the original 1988 classic. Leave a summary of your opinion on the first movie in the comments below, with your letter grade on an A+ to F scale, and you'll possibly see it featured in my review. That's a wrap for now. If you like this and you want to see more, slap the like button, subscribe for future videos, and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Alex Pop. Catch you later.